be caught at all? No?
Maybe this needs to go in your computer.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Do you need to check for my iPad?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, we're good. That's right. So. Ready?
Yep. Ready now.
Round 10 in the Adelaide Footy League on Filming Footy. Good afternoon, Jack Moore alongside Dinez Karakaya for this Port District and Broadview matchup, and a thriller in the reserves. Broadview kicked for goal just after the siren to win the game by 6 points on Sponsors Day here at Largs Reserve. Good afternoon, Dinez. This one shapes up to be a pretty enticing encounter with the ladder pretty squished in that middle section.
Yes. Hello, Jack, and hello to everyone. It should be an interesting game, I believe.
So Port District yet to win at home this season. The pre-season premiership favourites. Who would have picked that as we turn for home after the bye and the halfway mark of the Div 1 Adelaide Footy League season? And Broadview, well, they're up and down recently and they've been mixing their form. Come in at 6th with 4 wins and 5 losses. Port 4 wins, 4 losses. And last home game, that thrilling draw against Brighton. So both these teams from 3rd down to 10th, a gap of only 2 wins. So massive ramifications. If all results went against Broadview, they could find themselves in the bottom 2 at the end of today, and Port District could consolidate 3rd position. So plenty to play for.
Yes, definitely. Agreed.
Other matches you can find live right now on Filming Footy. Glenunga Bryden Bombers from Webb Oval, Golden Grove Payneham Norwood Union from Harpers Field, Prince Alfred and St Peters from Park 9, and Tea Tree Gully Sacred Heart from Pertaringa Oval. Plenty of great matches live and exclusive on Filming Footy. Today's match brought to you by Filming Footy, Footy Stats powered by Dartfish. It's the premium choice platform for local level, country and metropolitan clubs across Australia, providing analytical data for all sports and in football. There are over 700 coaches nationally utilising the Dartfish analytics to improve their coaching, provide feedback, analyse themselves and their opposition. The data is unique in providing grassroots football coaches heat maps, inside 50 data, point of origin, team and individual stats, stats leaderboards for teams and leagues, plus so much more. With Filming Footy, Footy Stats powered by Dartfish, you can watch your highlights and analyse your opponents. All of your stats are complemented by a complete playlist package with vision to match. So Google Filming Footy and Dartfish today. So Coach Josh Ramsey comes into this one for Port District, pretty buoyed by the inclusion of Jason Niskahus back from injury, Harrison Hawkins and Broden Hawkins, who combined for 5 goals in the reserves last week, while Liam Ferns, Archie Charles have been omitted and Miller Carter is unavailable. While for Broadview, Henry Baker is back in, replacing Reece Mooney. And in round 1, you were saying in the pre-game before we came on air, Dinez, you had this game and Port run out pretty comprehensive winners by 53 points.
Yes, it was a great game, but Port did maintain a lead, a strong lead throughout, and it did pay off for them.
So Dwyer had 3 goals, Gould with 2, and Harrison Hawkins, the only one of the top 3 goal scorers from that round 1 encounter playing today. Broadview, Kobe Russell had 3 goals in that round 1 match, so one to watch. 2 goals last week for the goal machine, Johnny Boras, number 7 for Broadview, one to watch. Ethan Smith, number 8, and Campbell Mulleron, all with 2 goals last week, while James Batty, the goal machine for Port District, coming off 3 goals last week, 17 so far for the season, and Hunter Carter with 2 goals last week. So both those players in form. The two captains coming into the middle for the coin toss, joined by the umpires today in the field, Stefan Cedarblood, Paul Smitheram and Cameron McLeod. On the boundary, Andrew Roberts and Anthony Bertoli, and in goals, Jason Collard and Chris Adey, and captain Sean Davidson winning the toss, and will kick to the left of your filming footy screen. Any predictions, or what do you expect from this one? It's a beautiful afternoon.
It is. It's great weather, but I do expect Port District to have a great lead, is what I'm envisioning. What about you?
It's a fascinating encounter because, as we said, Port with ex-Port Adelaide and West Coast players, Scotty Lycett and Sam Gray and Cooper Gaffney, Louis Sharrett as well. Plenty of experience having played footy in the SANFL levels and all through their team. Should, on paper, be favourites coming into this one. But having not won at home, it's been a bit of a daunting task. But they should bounce back after last week's encouraging result. And as for Broadview, they're looking to have a pretty good back-to-back win after downing Brighton at the Bay last week. For Port, it was a disappointing result at St Peter's, going down by 7 points to the old Collegians last Saturday afternoon as the teams came back off the bye for the second half of the season. But Glenunga run away in top position, Sacred Heart second, and third to 10th. It's all to play for. This stream and all streams, as always, brought to you by the Adelaide Footy League, our scoreboard sponsor, Sportal and Hahn. Hahn Ultra Low Carb, great taste. Ultra Low Carb, how good? Filming Footy, our Footy Stats, our matchday sponsor, of course. Dartfish, Farmers Leap, best on ground will win a pair of those Archie Stongs. Make sure, ratify it. And our goal of the day, snag of the day, brought to you by Jag Meatworks. Take home a kilo of gourmet sausages for their troubles. Mark of the week brought to you by Bianco. Goal of the week by Born to Build, the Wakefield Sports Clinic. And our coach of the week, Farmers Leap Winery at Padthaway. All those awards can be seen weekly on Between the Posts, hosted by, of course, Tommy Javor on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. Minutes away from a start here at Largs Reserve. From wherever in the world you may be joining us in the Filming Footy Call. A reminder, all Div 1 games live and exclusive every week on Filming Footy YouTube. So jump along and jump back. So both sets of players making their way into positions, and we're just about ready for a start. Beautiful afternoon down here at Semaphore, 15 degrees, partly cloudy, light winds, but no rain in sight, which means the footy should be the deciding factor today. Scotty Lycett up against Cho Anyang, who's been pretty impressive alongside Logan McKinnon-Collins in that dual ruck role for Broadview this season. As umpire Stefan Cedarblood holds the Sharon aloft, and we're ready to go on a Saturday afternoon in the Adelaide Footy League. First kick by Hawkins, starting on ball, back to Lycett, who spun in a washing machine fashion, inside 50. Strong mark out in front. 52 out, bit too far for Fergus, goes right down to the goal square. Shiny boots and strong hands, the man we talked about sharing that ruck roll with Anyang. It's Logan McKinnon-Collins playing out of the goal square. Under a minute, first goal for Broadies. His third goal this season. The Port District Junior, and made his senior debut in 2021. Great start for Broadview.
Yes, what a brilliant start. Already a minute in with the first goal of the day.
One clearance and one mark inside 50, just on the cusp of 50 for Fergus. Set it up down to the goal square and opening goal on the board. So Louis Sharrett here in the wing. Scotty Lycett back in the ruck, and It's take two. Minute or two gone on the Sportal scoreboard. Anyang, smothered clearance. Chasing after it, Harrison Hawkins. 2 goals in round 1 against Broadview, left it behind. Moving it down towards their forward half of the ground now, the District boys, but picked up nicely by Elix Day, and the clearing kick out to the opposite wing. Modra back into D50. It's knocked after he kicked it, nothing too much in that. Through the hands of Hill. And picked up, and a nice flurry of handballs off the half-back. There's Haynes. And Buddy coming right up the ground to meet it, but Heffernan was there first, took the mark, played on. Running into trouble, and Hawkins couldn't avoid giving away high contacts. They've started well, Broadview.
Yes, they have. In Broadview's possessions, taking a bit of time, waiting for the players to settle, and a beautiful long kick.
It's a holding free kick given away to Broadview, and the ball not returned on the fall, so it'll be a set shot for goal, roughly about 35 metres out. And this would be 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes for the Tigers.
Yes, it would be. It'd be great. Running up a little and goes for a long kick, hits the post, unfortunately. Still a great start for the Tigers, though.
So inaccurate inside 50 there, but what a start on the scoreboard. Sportal and Hahn scoreboard. 1-1-7. Heffernan takes him on, no prior, umpire right in there. Throwing up this side of centre on the commentary side. Sharrod taken in a strong tackle by Cooper O'Leary, who won't let go. Stuck to him like glue. Repeat stoppage in the ruck. Sammy McKay going up and taking responsibility from Lysad's hand. It comes down in front of us at ground level. Ben Manning on all fours. He's left a player in his wake and struggling to get to his feet here. It's Trent Heffernan. Free kick going the way of Miskahus. He'll pump it long inside 50 at large reserve. Lysett playing at home. He came out the front door. Left the back door closed. Couldn't take it with him. And they pile on top, and umpire's going to find a free kick for diving on the footy. Will go the way of the big man, Scotty Lysett. He'll hand it over and give the responsibility of the kick inside 50 and an opening shot at goal for Hunter Carter, who's coming off 2 goals last week. First inside 50, perhaps some real result here for Port, who have to use the breeze here, well, Dinez.
Yes. Does a little bit of a run up, and he goes hopefully straight through the middle.
So Carter on the approach. So he's used that breeze to perfection. Dinez called it perfectly. Used the run up straight through the middle, and they're all about him. Hunter Carter, only his 2nd senior game for the season. He's got his 3rd goal. The Port District Junior had some footy at Woodville West Torrens in the 18s and a couple of games for North Adelaide reserves. So all level on the scoreboard in terms of goals. 1 point lead for the Tigers. 1-1-7, 1 straight 6. We've played just over 5 minutes in this opening quarter on Filming Footy. Thanks to Archie's, Dartfish, Farmers Leap Winery, our Sportal and Hahn scoreboard, and the Adelaide Footy League. Saturday afternoon, Lysett wins it down. Hawkins, Gray. Yeah, it's a lovely mark on his chest. He'll line up from about 48 out. Sammy Mackay. Man on the mark about 47 out. Marks it now. And it'll come in, Sammy Mackay, the North Haven Port District Junior. Played some footy for the Eagles in the 18s and the reserves at Sandford level. Not a breath of wind, should be a pretty regulation kick if he has the distance. Just pushed it across to the right-hand side, looking for the extra meterage. And we're all tied up, 1-1-7 apiece.
Yes, what a great start it's been. Broadview do a beautiful kick, almost towards the middle. A missed handball there. Could also be a missed opportunity as the ball goes out on the wing. As the umpire gets ready to do a ball up. It was a beautiful touch by Anyang. Tries to get it into the possession of Broadview. A few tackles going on with a bit of... Yeah. The ball goes up again and it's tapped out and out of the pack. Almost towards the wing where it just went out, but they've managed to keep it in. Having another situation of holding the ball and going with the umpire stepping back in. Oh no. Goes into the possessions of Carter.
Yeah, so Carter with the opening goal for Port. Tight angle here, but the wings at large reserve are pretty narrow, so it's almost a kick from the corridor. Has he got the distance? Man on the mark, about 45 out.
Goes beautifully straight down the middle. Second mark of the day. With Port now leading by a goal. What a great start he's had though.
Yeah, Carter, so 2 goals last week in his opening senior game and 2 goals in the first 6 minutes here. He's one to watch, one that wasn't in their sights or their thoughts of Josh Ramsey in the pre-season. Started the season in the reserves. His 18th game for the club. He's proving a real danger man inside 50. Lining up inside 50 there on Flanagan. So, swapped over now to Modra down back. Back in the middle we go. Lyset, strong. Very, very strong with the straight arm out. And that's a equally strong tackle coming through, taking Gaffney down. Off the back of the pack. Nice from Smith. Dragged off it, not high, but agricultural. There's Lyset getting involved. One to watch after a strong performance last week, albeit in a loss. Gee, shrugged him beautifully and set sail. Goal umpire absolutely loves it. Port District are off to an absolute flyer after Broadview looked to get the best of the opening few minutes, and they've gone 3 goals in a row. Yet to win at home, but they're using the width of the ground to their advantage. 3rd goal on the board on the Sporto Enhanced scoreboard. 3-1-19, Broadview 1-1-7, a 12-point gap. And we've played just over 9 minutes in this first quarter. Strong response from Port District.
Yes, definitely. It's been a beautiful start to the game. As we are back in the centre, the ball goes up in the centre. And Lyset does well again. Quite strong in the ruck position he is. Goes up once again. A good tap there by Lyset. And it goes straight out of the centre. Doesn't go into the hands of anyone yet. But Broadview are managing to work the ball in their favour. With Port District interfering and some hand passes there. But goes back into the hands of Broadview. Goes for a short kick to Danielle Lee. And another short kick. Goes for a bit of a longer kick, but intercepted there by Ferns. Ferns also goes for a longer kick down the far side of the wing, on the far side of the oval. Port District holding on to the possession.
So Ferns, a late inclusion today after initially being named out of the side. Scotty Lyset, he'd expect him to pluck it off the tree. He did. He reached up, saw the apple and just gave it a pluck. Just points to the man on the mark and says, "This is my territory, get out of my way." Slight angle, about 45 degrees, 20 out. A man of his experience, premiership player with West Coast Eagles in the AFL in 2018. Now back home and loving it, injury-free. Had a bit of a chat with him about 4 or 5 weeks ago. 4 surgeries in the off-season to get himself right for this year. Just couldn't get it right on that kick on that occasion though. Pushed it across the face. Port filling up their boots early. Broadview need to make a few changes and adjustments. They were on top in the first few minutes. 3-3-21, 1-1-7. Sportle and Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard. Broadview bring out of half back. It's a risky one. These pockets are narrow. Strong mark over the top. Oh, half a one, 6 dozen the other. Getting it off and into trouble. He dropped the ball and he should be absolutely gone. Like a ball to a red rag. Louis Sharrod. O'Leary had nothing ahead and Sharrod laid a tackle that he's made himself famous for, that ultimate pressure. Earned himself a spot on the Adelaide Crows Sandford list, and back playing full-time this season, Louis Sharrod in the 23. Key member of this Port side. Anyang wrestling in the ruck once again. Mitchell Gaffney getting involved. Yeah, good voice from the captain Davidson. Strong mark. Who's he want? Lyset just stopped, propped. Half volley, Lyset, you special man. Let them all come to him, then made the decision. Handball from Gaffney, back off to Haynes. Not his best kick. He'll jog back and just fell short of Jimmy Batty in the pocket. 3 goals last week and Broadview a chance to clear from full back.
Yes. On the far side of the wing, taking a bit of time, letting some players run up, but he goes for a long kick on the far side of the oval. Looks like it may have gone into the possession of Port District though. Oh no, the umpire says no. Does a ball up. A great tap there by Anyang, but don't think it worked quite in their favour, with Port District interfering and going for a short kick into their forward 50. Broadview intercept and get it out of their way. Bit of a collision just out of the centre. It goes into the hands of Broadview. Ryan.
Port District crowd pretty happy with that. The Broadview crowd not so much. It's gone all the way inside to the goal square. The big man, he's playing from the lounge room today, isn't he?
Yeah,
Denez, he's
sure
right up and he's making that goal square and full forward position his own. And can he atone? He had a miss about 3 minutes ago, didn't he, from the pocket? Can he atone for that now?
Yeah, he's making his space well known that is his territory. As he lines up, goes for a kick and it goes straight through the middle. He did make up for it this time. Delivered with a powerful kick.
So Scotty Lyset on the board, making that goal square his own. Gee, dwarves the opponent down there, and the confidence of that goal. He's marching his way up to the centre circle now. He'll take the ruck contest against Anyang. McKinnon Collins in the second minute got things started. Since then, Hunter Carter with a couple of goals. Scotty Lyset chiming in there with that last one. All Port District 4-2-26. Broadies 1-1-7, a 19-point gap on the Sportle and Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard. Umpire throws it up. Anyang and Lyset resume their duel. Clearance, gee, it's gone inside Broadview's 50 for the first time in about 10 minutes. Doesn't stay there for long. Rose off the back. Umpire's got the hand straight up. He'll say it crossed the boundary line, out of bounds. We'll throw it in. We've played 16 minutes in this opening term. Large reserve sponsors day here at Port District. Country Homes Living Arena. Ruck infringement. Anyang giving away the free kick. On the back flank for Districts. Up to an option in Broden Hawkins. He couldn't take it. Follows up well. They've gained about 50 metres. Since Broadview started well, it's been all Port Districts in the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, it has been. Port District are very much holding on to possession of the ball and not letting go of it. As the umpire throws in from the far wing side, A good tap there by the Ruckmans. Goes into the possession of Broadview, but manages to drop to the ground, unfortunately, struggling to get the ball up. We've got players coming left, right and centre at this ball. Bit of congestion, and the umpire runs back to the ball where we will have a ball up. A good tap there by Lyset, but goes into the possession of Broadview, and a beautiful tackle there by Gaffney. As the ball keeps moving towards Broadview's side, was a touch.
High tackle infringement on that side going the way of Port. They bring it straight back through the guts. That 45-degree kick. It's laced with trouble. Coming out. Just got him high in the aftermath. Umpire said play on. You kind of played for it. All the way to Jackie. Oh, he's got his eyes on the footy. Didn't see the defender coming. And high fives all around for Jason Niskahus back on that last line. Just coming up with a bit of a limp. Looked like it was Fergus playing from the goal square. Bit of a swing man. Him and Hamish Ralph in the 15 can swing both ways. And Port District bring it out of fullback again and clear it up to the outer wing.
Yes, it was a great kick there that goes straight into the hands of Port District of Lyset. It goes for a shorter kick, a bit of a strategic kick as they work it down the far wing, with Broadview intercepting and trying to get it out, but there's such strong tackles there by Batty, who interferes.
So James Batty, of course, 405 goals in his 180 game support. When he's not kicking goals, he's laying strong tackles.
He sure is. We've got the umpires throwing the ball up. A beautiful tap there by Lyset, and a kick there by Gray, but goes into the hands of Broadview. Good opportunity for Broadview. They work it down long into the middle, but a great tap there by Gaffney, where the ball did sadly drop.
Broadview fans right below us, just getting a bit antsy in the past few moments. Lucky mark from Ryan off that clearance. You called it well, Dinez, but they need to get their game plan moving and get the ball through hands, don't they?
Yes, we need a bit more pressure from them. Port District in possession once again. They're just working beautifully with this ball.
Holding free kick going the way. I think it's Passaniti out there for Port.
Yeah. Goes for a long kick straight down. Beautiful opportunity for Broadview, as they've done. They've intercepted and got hold of this ball. Some handballs. Bit of a awkward kick there. Fortunately for their sake, goes into the hand of Port District. Goes for a long kick into the forward 50. Lyset almost tapping.
Yeah, the Bronx cheers from the Broadview supporters. They think that's a free kick earned from the past 4 or 5 minutes. Took him on, took 2 tackles on. Didn't dispose, holding the ball to Cole. Sharrett, oh, he bumped him like a bull. And the ball came free. The kick went about 3 metres. Sammy Gray just buried underneath a couple of Broadview players, dragged off it. Had him once, had him twice. Umpire said, not going to fool me 3 times. Floating little tumbling kick. Spilling off the boot. All Port District at the fall of the footy. The mosquito fleet of Broadview need to get it through hands. Tough, big bodies. Sharrett has started beautifully for Port. Scotty Lyset in the ruck inside 50. Logan McKinnon Collins now pushed down to meet him at his own game. Just equaling the size battle. Off half back, cheeky bounce, indulgent. Sam Gray, right place, right time. He's made a career out of that. Oh, he sold him. Sold him once, sold him twice. Then kicked to absolutely nobody, Sammy Gray. But Batty's going to meet it, and he'll just take it with him over the... Very smart from Batty. Let that go, would have been out of bounds last possession. Repeat stoppage inside 50. Sportal scoreboard, time on, we've ticked into it. 4-2-26, 1-2-8. Broadview with the first goal of this game. Kept in, centralised, coming to meet it. Hunter Carter got both hands. Oh, he fought off one. Go. Oh, that's a bit of an inventive little effort. Has it gone 15? Umpire just bailing out Broadview. Last line, O'Leary. Broadview living by the seat of their pants here. Denez, and the clearing kick in the halfback comes to Ralph, who's pushed back in that pocket. A lead of 18 points with a few minutes left in this first quarter.
Yes, Broadview very much trying to at least stop Port District from scoring in these last few minutes, but Hazaniti goes for a beautiful kick. Elisa almost gets there. Ball rolls around a bit on the ground, but goes up into the hands of Gaffney, who goes straight down the middle there. It was a good effort by Broadview there, trying to tap that ball before it went over, but definitely was a paid goal, furthering the distance between Broadview and Port District score, with it 32-8 now.
Nomination for our Jack Meatworks snag of the day, perhaps. Jackie Gaffney picked it up and did beautifully off the pack. Fourth game of the season for Jack Gaffney, his brother in this team as well. Played some footy for the under-18 South Australian side in 2014, going back away. And 60 games at reserves and league level for Woody West Torrens in the Sandful. His fourth senior game of the season. Lysette domineering. Up from half-back, Smith coming up the ground to meet it from half-forward. You find yourself getting over the footy, you might win a free kick or two. Modra, that's a nice short kick. Flanagan surveys the options, nothing immediately coming to mind. Has to backtrack. One step back, two steps forward. Hills wouldn't sit for him, coming out, Haynes. A ricochet effort and boundary throw in. We've ticked past 23.5 in this opening quarter. Quarter just had 6 goals. Wouldn't expect longer than about 4 or 5 minutes to play of real time in this opening quarter. Large reserves, Saturday afternoon, Adelaide Footy League on Filming Footy. Heffernan. Umpire Strong just gets involved, doesn't let it graduate to the next level. Picks the free kick out. Get out of my way. About 20 out, setting himself, going up, taken out. Might be a ricochet goal off the boot. Off the boot of a black jerseyed individual. Port District rush it through on the Sporter and Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard. Moving to 5-2-32 and Broadview now 1-3-9. Mark taken by Passaniti, who plays on, and the kick coming up to this near side wing.
Yes, it was a good bump there by players, but ball goes out on the boundary. We've got a few players bumping each other, but it's whether they can get possession of the ball that will matter. Goes a free ball into the hands of Broadview. Works it down the line to goes inside the forward 50 for Broadview. This could be a great opportunity for them as they go for a kick towards the middle. Oh, and it just hits the post. Was a great opportunity there for Broadview. Port District don't have time to waste. Kick it straight out, but Broadview get possession again. And it's a mark there on a bit of a weird angle.
Jackie Fergus. Oh, he plays on, Denez.
Yeah. Inside 50 on about 45-degree angle. Broadview have a great opportunity.
Fergus, all the experience there. He's played for Broadview since 2015. The pocket, knew his dimensions weren't quite right, and sending the ball up and a shot, as you said, pretty much directly in front. Broadview desperately need a goal here.
Yes, they definitely do. And they get it. Straight down the middle. A good comeback for Broadview by Manning. This has been a good comeback from Broadview. They've just got to keep this going.
Opening goal of the game in the second minute to McKinnon Collins. It's taken 25 more to get their second on the board. In between that, 5 straight for Port. Manning, first goal on the day and second for the season. Played every game so far in season 2024 for Broadview. So can't be much time left. Another goal in this quarter for Broadview would be perhaps more than they deserve, but they've been holding the fort pretty steady. Port District bludgeoning their way through. Strong tackle from Rose. Oh, he picked it up like a scuba diver. Scooped the shell up. Moving through hands and just flirting with the boundary. Boundary wins. Approaching quarter time. Forward of centre for Port. 5-2-32. 2-4-16. Double the score. 16-point lead. Sportle Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard.
Yes, the ball goes back in. A good tap there by Anyang, but players are contesting for this ball with Broadview. McKay grabbing possession, but it goes out by the boundary again. With the narrow wings here at Largs Reserve, it can be difficult for players. Umpire throws in once again at the same location, but Broadview have a great attempt at this going into their possession. Yeah,
28 minutes gone, so perhaps one last roll of the dice for Broadies. If they can pinch a late goal here, would be some filler heading into quarter time, Denez.
Yeah, it would be a good comeback for them. Goes for a long kick, still on the far wing side, but a beautiful mark there by Port District.
Yeah, Louis Sharrod, arguably been one of Port's best in that opening term. Well called by you. 7 goals in his 7 games and ever reliable. Louis Sharrod, Scotty Lysette dominating as usual in the ruck and up forward in the goal square. Boras and Jaden Ryan being pretty invisible. So has Kobe Russell, who had 3 goals against Port in round 1. Sean Davison holding the fort up as captain for Port, and James Batty up the ground playing a different role so far today. On Filming Footy, it's Saturday afternoon at Largs Reserve. We're here thanks to our sponsors, Sportle and Hahn Ultra Low Carb. Great taste. How good? Filming Footy Stats, our match day sponsor. Dartfish, Farmers Leap, Best on Ground, Archie Stongs, Make Sure Ratify, and our Goal of the Week thanks to Born to Build. Mark of the Week, Bianco. Snag of the Day, Jag Meatworks. At quarter time, it's Port District 5-2-32, Broadview 2-4-16. Back with the second quarter after this. Second quarter action underway at Lance Reserve on this Saturday afternoon. Filming footy, 5-2-32, Port District. Broadview, 2-4-16. 16-point lead. Shoveling it through his legs. Throw-like and rugby scrum from Anyang. Just diving after the footy and grabbed the player's foot instead. Gave it away. Free kick going the way of the Districts. Out of the middle again. Just about 5 metres this side of centre. Long clearing kick coming in from Harrison Hawkins. Ground level Heffernan over it like a beaver over his mats. And he couldn't quite get it out. Great tackle coming in. It's a bit of a team lifter outside for Broadview. Needs a strong start at the back end of the ground. Oh, speaking of strong, vice-like. Mark taken on this near side. Now pump it back inside 50 again. Ferns. Turned it straight over to the long-sleeved one. In Helix Day. A bit of a chilly afternoon, but pretty fine. Not too cold. Run it through hands. Manning, goal scorer in that opening quarter for Broadview. And getting amongst it early in this second quarter. So Campbell Mullerona laid out for Broadview this afternoon. Replaced in the side by Nick Ferguson. Had a couple of touches involvement in that first quarter. Anyang up to meet it. Left the mark on his chest. And the running ruckman handball, as they always do. Mark taken about 65 out. It's all Port District there. Louis Sharrod. Courage personified. Stuck the Velcro dots onto his chest and the footy hit them. Didn't bounce out. Short option taken. Here's Cooper Gaffney. And he looks for a suitable option to come out of back 50. We've played a couple of minutes. And the captain, Davidson, and the lead is still 16 points.
Davidson works down the line, goes for a short kick into the hands of Sharrod. Sharrod weighing up his options, letting some players move forwards towards the ball, and it's another kick straight into the hands of Broadview. It plays on, a quick handball there, and they work towards the far end of the oval, with Broadview trying to get possession, trying to interfere, but Port District hold on to the ball, and it's a great kick there to Hawkins, followed by another shorter kick inside forward 50. Bit of congestion going on, players fighting for the ball, as one may say, with Broadview interfering and getting hold. Lyset comes out of nowhere, taps it and goes into the hands of Broadview, which unfortunately doesn't go into another Broadview player's hands. Umpire calls a full to Fergus, who plays on, then a long kick into the forward 50, but goes into the hands of Port District. Works down the line, a short kick there to Gray. Gray signalling for his players.
Matty Burgess in front of us, the Broadview coach, just hating the fact the Tigers are allowing these short options on this near side wing. It might not look like Port District are gaining any territory as the mark is dropped.
Yes, sadly the ball remains on the ground, a bit of congestion going on as the umpire heads over to interfere.
So it might not look like Port are gaining any real territory, but by pushing it and pulling it to this near side, it opens up the rest of the ground. And Broadview, clearly Matty Burgess, the coach, wants to take that away from Port. So a keen watch is to see if Broadview can keep pushing up the ground or pushing across to stop that short option, because Port have taken that short kick on this near side probably half a dozen times now. And at quarter time, the inside 50 count was double. Port going the way of Port 15-7. So Broadview can even that up in the opening half of this quarter as they look to do so now, but turns straight over and the mark taken by Ferns.
Yes. Ferns is taking a little bit of his time, weighing up his options. There probably isn't a sense of urgency for Port District to continue to lead this game. It goes into the hands of Wilson, a handball up and then a short kick there by Port District. which was an almost mark there by Broadview, but Port District working well with their pressure and well with their tackles. Going for a kick on the boundary side, a bit of a risky one with it being so close to the boundary. Port District holding onto the ball, not necessarily kicking it, few short handballs along the ground almost. Port District trying to pick the ball up, but a strong tackle by opponents. The umpire throws it up and Anyang taps it out, but still remains within congestion of players.
A strong start for Port, considering their second leading goal kicker this season, Preston Cockatoo Collins, is missing today, being called up again for the Sandford Port Magpies. 11 goals in 4 games for Preston. Been really impressive. And Batty yet to hit the scoreboard.
Yes. A good intercept there by Broadview, but Port District just love the ball. Holding on to the possession. Broadview kicking it out and running with the ball currently. Smith goes into the forward 50. A mark there. Inside the forward 50 for Broadview could be a great opportunity to have a comeback on the scoreboard. About 45 out on a slight 45-degree angle, goes straight for the middle.
Off line there from Fergus. You'd expect a bit better from Jackie Fergus. 145th game this afternoon for the club. 165 goals, only 2 this season in his 9 games. Sportal and Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard 5-2-32. 15-point lead for Port. 2-5-17. The Tigers. Mark taken by Modastash. Losing his footing. The target Heffernan intercepted. Elix Day goes to Cho Anyang and a bit of a reverse play back to the spot in which he received. Jackson Wilson finds Mackenzie. Just giving the instructions, say, come at me, boys. But no one does, so he just puts it to a hot spot. There's about even numbers. Broadview outnumber at the full of the footy. Wrapped up Gray, a bit over the top, umpire thought. Shaking his head, but not shaking his fist towards the umpire. Marks right on the paint of 50. It's an ugly, ugly effort from Kobe Russell. Equally ugly from Port. Ripped off it. Smith wanted to get it involved, but the pressure was too immense for him to do anything about it. Goes back in. Goes in for seconds. Goes in for third. Smith. Ball didn't get there in time. Umpires just picked one out of his magic hat there. Chance for Port to relieve. So Coach Matty Burgess looking for Broadview just to clog up this near side. They do so pretty well, but it leaves the far side open. Reaching out, couldn't get the Inspector Gadget arms working to reel it in. McKinnon Collins, opening goal scorer today. Unlucky. Handball hit the boot on the full, and the ball crossed the line on the full. Free kick going the way of Port. Outer side, we've played just over 5.5 in this second quarter. No goals to speak of yet. Batty's been pretty quiet. Sammy Gray, Power, Sydney Swans, take your pick. All the quality in the world. Dienhoff. Oh, that's German engineering on the kick from Dienhoff. And he finds the beacon. Scotty Lyset. If you've watched him over the past few seasons, you'd be pretty stunned to see not an inch of strapping on this big man. He's been held together by sticky tape over the past few seasons, Scotty Lyset. Finally enjoying a pretty free run at it. Oh, it flirts with the post. Umpire likes it. Scotty Lyset has his second goal of the day. Measured it beautifully, one halfway through the opening quarter. And the big man from the west has his second of the day as Port stretch their lead, approaching 10 minutes gone on the Sportal and Hahn ultra low crisp, low carb scoreboard. 6-2-38. Port District, Broadview 2-5-17. A lead now of 21 points.
Yes. Has been a good start to the second quarter with the pressure building. As the ball goes up, it gets tapped out of the centre, not into the possession of someone quite just yet, but Broadview intercepting, going for a kick, but mistake the Guernseys and it goes into the hands of Port District. Broadview fighting for this ball, but team members struggling to pick it up with a bit of congestion forming as the ball bounces awkwardly. Broadview run with the ball, trying to get it out of the pack and go for a beautiful mark there by Smith. Goes for a bit of a short kick, smart one, into the hands of Flanagan, who works it into their forward 50. Goes into a pack, but with a Port District player going down. Some great tackles that have been going on. Inside the forward 50, umpire throws it up. Lysat taps it down as team members work to get it up and out. Goes almost into the hands of Batty, with Broadview intercepting and Wilson kicking it back into the forward 50. Broadview working well to keep it into the forward 50. Boris goes for a kick. Ooh, with a player running into the post also.
Johnny Boris, the goal machine. He 125 goals in 2021, 77 in 2022, and 56 last season. So you just need to get him started. Broadview haven't been able to. He's been well held so far in this game. Boundary throw in on this near side. Just locked in this forward half of the ground for Broadies. They need the next goal. 20-point gap on the scoreboard. Could be a lot more. In fairness, Port haven't really taken much of their possession and opportunity and hit in a deliberate fashion towards the boundary. But far away enough for the umpire to give him the benefit of the doubt. 20-point lead. Goals and points. Reverse them. We've got a draw. 20-point gap. Port's away, looking for their first home win of the season. Can you believe that? McKinnon Collins finds himself at the base of that pack. Ferns over the top as they maul their way inside 50. Umpire is going to have to sort it out. Goals so far for Broadview. McKinnon Collins and Ben Manning in the first quarter. Looking to add a third here from a bit of a tight snap. The body work was done early and the mark was taken sufficiently so. Inside the goal square, directly in front. He is the man I was just talking about. He's like a mower. You just got to get him started. And Johnny Boris is up and running for the day. Is that a bit of a spark? Beautifully done. Outside of the right foot Bunana kick to Boris's advantage. Did the body work early. 2 goals last week. The definition of goal machine, Johnny Boris. His 19th goal of the season on the Sportal scoreboard. 6-2 Port District 38. Margin 14 points. Broadview 3-6-24.
Yes, it's been a good comeback from Broadview. Working hard to make that gap smaller. As the ball approaches its way to the centre. Alrighty. The ball goes up. A good tap there by the Ruckmans, but working to get the ball up and out there by Sharad. Goes for a small kick onto the far side. Broadview running with the ball, doing some short kicks on the far wing side. Bit close to the boundary, but working in their favour. And just like that, goes into the hands of Batty inside the forward 50.
From one goal machine to the other. James Batty saw Johnny Boris wake up and he's decided to get himself out of bed here. Been held pretty quiet, looking for his 18th goal on the season. 170 plus goals over 5 seasons for South in the SANFL.
Yes, as it goes for a kick, it goes down almost there for him, but didn't quite work in his favour. He must be still warming up a tad there, but I'm sure he'll be back again. A great possession there, taken by taken by Port District, but remains in the hands of Pazaniti.
Anyang, a victim of his own height there, the mismatch.
Yeah.
It was a great tackle, but just got him high.
Goes inside the forward 50 with Port working hard to get it out, but looks like a push from the behind. Goes into the hands of Port District. Deinhoff inside forward 40, inside 50 on a bit of an awkward angle towards the wing. Taking his time. Goes for a short kick, but a great intercept there by Broadview, who run with the ball. But Lyset takes control and gets it back into the forward 50. Broadview work well, get it out again into the hands of O'Leary. Goes for a short kick, playing it smart, not taking any risks as Boris works it down the line, with Broadview being strategic with how they manage to get this ball out of the forward 50.
Hamish Ralph, good ball user. Oh, he's just picked that off. Needs to commit to it, did Stevie Jackson. And he's gang tackled. Umpire is not in a friendly mood today. Let's take a look on the Dartfish replay as that tackle came in. Oh, it did look to be high. Unlucky. On the YouTube stream right now, on Filming Footy, loaded up and click back a few. Free kick going the way of James Batty. Just sent it across the face. The last chance he got was from it's 25 metres. Hands on the head, and they just kept talking and talking to the umpire, and not going to get away with that in Div 1 footy. Not sure what he said. We're a long way from the action. Umpire took umbrage with it. It was a 50-50 free kick in fairness. And this one has made it a pretty sure thing. Put this down on the book for the goal machine Batty. Just when Broadview were getting a little bit of an ascendancy. But they're still in this game, the Tigers. They've started this quarter beautifully. And the margin is still under 19 points. James Batty adds his first of the day. So B1 and B2. Johnny Boris and James Batty. JB, they're both underway with their first goal of the day in this second quarter. And the Sportle and Hans scoreboard, ultra low carb, 7-3-45, Port District 4-6. Make that 3-6, 24. Broadview, the lead is 21 points now.
Yes, as we come back to the centre, a great tap there by Lyset, who takes hold of the ball and gets it out. Goes into the hands of Port District, who work well to keep it in their favour, but Broadview intercepting. A great kick there by Gray. But some good tackles going on.
What a dart. That was a brilliant kick from O'Leary. Measured it. Just had a bit too much on it at the fall of the ball, didn't it? Just bounced off the chest of his intended target. Might have been Boras coming out to meet it from the goal square.
Goes back into a pack of teammen. Goes back into the pack, but umpire doesn't like it and goes for a ball up. A lot of players moving forwards into that full 50 mark. Goes into the hands of Port District, who kick it out and out of the pack, but Broadview interfering and getting hold of the ball as Hawkins works to get the ball going in their favour, kicking it back into the forward 50. A great intercept there by Port District, who remain in control of the ball currently on the far end of the field. Going for a kick into the forward 50 and a great mark there inside forward 50 by Port District.
James Batty's just getting himself started now. Playing in front. 3 goals last week. The Henley Junior, Woody West Torrens, South Adelaide, all the experience. Over 405 goals. He's 180 games for Port.
Wow. Can he do it again? Doesn't quite work in his favour.
You give a man a pump up.
Yeah, I reckon is only just getting started.
22-point gap on the Sportal scoreboard. Thanks to Hahn, ultra low crisp. How goods. Filming footy Saturday afternoon. Broadview on the treaty out of fullback Manning. 2-on-1 on the forward of the footy. If they can just get it forward of centre here, Broadview, they've got it equal number ahead. The spare man back is Cooper Gaffney coming across. Didn't get there because Modastash came over with a golden fist and went bang. Punched it out, but Broadview in the ascendancy. 16-point quarter-time lead, pushed out to 22. We've ticked over halfway in this second quarter. Time on, in fact. 22 gone. Wrapped up Mackay. Strong tackle. This one's flying by. McKinnon Collins coming in with the wrenching effort to lock it up. Umpire throws it up. And bouncing off like 10 pins, but running himself into a pickle. And Broadview rewarded. It's what they deserve. Their tackling has been pretty elite. Need a goal. Need some scoreboard nourishment here. Going up, just losing his footing from underneath him. Hole in the ground opened up. Oh, dodging out of 1 and 2. Keep O'Leary. This would be a Jag Me Work snag of the day. O'Leary, something out of nothing. The luck of the Irish for O'Leary. That might be Broadview's goal of the season. And it brings them right back into this encounter. That's a special goal. His 6th goal of the season. His 84th game and 54th goal for the club. As we tick towards half-time, 23 gone. 7-4-46 Port District. 16-point gap now. The same as it was at quarter-time. Broadview 4-6-30. Back in this one.
Yes, as the ball comes back into the centre, players are working well to get it out. Few people falling to the ground, but Broadview working well to get it up and off the ground and into their hands. A good mark there by Broadview, who should remain in possession. Weighing up his options, goes for a short kick, a bit of a shallow kick, doesn't quite work in his favour, bouncing off opponents. As the umpire runs to recall the ball. On the far side of the oval, just near the boundary, we have a throw-in. A good tap there by Lysette. Just put his arm out and it knew what to do. Broadview working well and keeping hold of the ball, some handballs, but and a good kick there, but goes into the hands of Port District.
Yeah, Louis Sharrett had been dropped behind the footy as a loose option. Read it beautifully there and picks off the short kick to Cooper Gaffney.
Gaffney weighs up his options, decides to go towards the boundary on the far side, but goes almost into the hands of Port District. Would have been a great mark there by them, but Port District working well to keep the ball moving towards their forward 50. Some handballs after handballs. Going into the hands of Broadview now. A kick on the far side of the oval, working themselves.
Short controlled footy, it's what the coach would have asked him to do at quarter time. Matty Burgess, just possess the footy off half back, open the ground up when the option presents, take the inside kick. Don't take too many risks, but bite it off when you have the chance. Look for that flyby handball. Maintain possession. Pull Port District up the ground. Create the hole. Louis Sharrod is still loose, and Scotty Lyset is now pushing his way back inside D50, which meant Broadview had to hold on to the ball in the last moments of that quarter. But a pretty entertaining game in that first half here at Port District at Largs Reserve.
Yes, definitely. Has been great to see teams build their pressure and further their strength.
A very even second quarter on Filming Footy. 7-4-46 Port District. Broadview 4-6-30. 16-point lead at quarter time. Same here at half time. Goal scorers McKinnon Collins with the opening goal in the second minute of that first quarter. Ben Manning in the 25th minute. Johnny Boras in the 14th minute of that second quarter. And Cooper O'Leary. Goodness me, I tell you what, someone's going to have to kick a pretty amazing goal to take the 1 kilo of gourmet snags, thanks to Jag Meatworks, off him for the goal of the day. That goal in the 24th minute. For Port District in the first quarter, it was Hunter Carter with the opening 2 goals. Held quiet since then. His brother Tommy with the 3rd goal. Scotty Lyset in the 15th minute. Cooper Gaffney in the 23rd minute. Scotty Lyset, the first goal of that second quarter in the 10th minute, adding his 2nd of the day. And James Batty in the 18th minute, giving Port District 7 goals to 4 at half time on Saturday afternoon. Div 1 Adelaide Footy League football, thanks to our scoreboard sponsor Sportle and Hahn Ultra Low Carb. How good? Dartfish, Farmer's Leap, our best on ground, Archie's Thongs, prize winner at the end of this one. Make sure ratify our coach of the week, thanks to Farmer's Leap Winery at Padthaway. Goal of the week, thanks to Born to Build and the Wakefield Sports Clinic. Mark of the week, thanks to Bianco. Haven't seen too many Mark of the Week contenders so far, but we'll keep an eye out in the second half. And our snag of the day, of course, brought to us by Jag Meatworks. All of the winners can be seen on the Filming Footy social media page on Facebook, and between the posts hosted by the one, the only Tommy Javor. That goes live Monday nights on the Filming Footy Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. At halftime here at Country Homes Living Arena, Largs Reserve, it's Port District by 16 points. Don't go anywhere. Second half still to come. Saturday afternoon, Adelaide Footy League Div 1 on Filming Footy is brought to you by Filming Footy Stats, powered by Dartfish. With Filming Footy Stats, powered by Dartfish, you can watch your highlights and analyse your opponents. All of your stats are complemented by a complete playlist package with vision to match. Search Dartfish and Filming Footy today. At Country Homes Living Arena, Largs Reserve for round 10 of the Adelaide Footy League. And what a game we have. Both these sides desperately needing a win. Port District yet to win at home. With a win today, they could go third, but a loss could drop them down to as low as 7th. And for Broadview, a win, they could actually go third as well, but a loss could drop them down to 9th. So plenty on the table in this second half.
Yeah, should be a very interesting third quarter.
Dinez Karakaya and Jack Moore on Filming Footy. Cho Anyang winning a hit out against the man, the myth, the legend, Lyset in the ruck. It's coming straight back and sprinting off half back. Elix Day just continuing the run, moving through his hill, crossing the river and going down the valley and turning it straight over to Matty Rose. Oh, it's a bit of a thorny kick, but it works off and pays off. And that's going to be one that might open the ground up. Nash Haynes running off half back. Gaffney's kick was measured. It always is. He's a human measuring tape, Cooper Gaffney. Lyset and Sharrod, perhaps they're three of their finest contributors. And Haynes, prior to that, lining up for a shot on goal in this shallow pocket. Louis Sharrod, goal a game. 7 goals in his 7 games for the Men in Black this season. Would be an ideal start, but he sets it up. Unmarked. They didn't do their homework and they clocked off, expecting Sharrod to set sail. He's like an explorer, Louis Sharrod, just the radar always switched on. And here's Tommy Carter. 4 goals in his 5 senior games. 1 in the first. And puts that one to the right side of the goalpost. A big let-off for Broadview. Went to sleep and allowed the uncontested mark. Sporto enhanced scoreboard. 7-5-47 Port District. Broadview 4-6-30, a lead of 17 points. 3 minutes played, third quarter.
Broadview work with what they know best, and short kicks along the far side of the oval. Work it into a little bit of a pack. It was a dangerous move there, but goes in their favour. Broadview play on, going into the hands of Hamish Ralph. Goes for a long kick. Again, a beautiful mark there by Broadview. Works it down into their forward 50, but Port District was there at the right time. Ferns takes a beautiful mark there. Weighs up his options. Goes for a straight kick. Good contestant going on here. Broadview trying to get it out. Almost near the boundary line, working to keep it in, but not quite. Goes out on the boundary with some great play there by
right in front of this Broadview bench here. Matty Burgess getting really involved, and first goal of the quarter, super important, Inez.
Yes, definitely. Umpire throws it back in, and Yang tries to go for it. Broadview kicking it into their forward 50, and a beautiful mark there, straight out the front of the goals. Could be a great start for Broadview here. Johnny Boris lining himself up, preparing his team, hoping that he will deliver for them.
124 games in the Sandful across the 17s, 19s, reserves and league for North Adelaide. Kicked 360 goals in those 124 games.
Wow.
Just a goal machine wherever he pops up, this man.
Yes, he sure is. And he remains a goal machine, delivering that beautifully, which has been a great start for Port District.
His second of the afternoon, opening goal of the second quarter and the opening goal of the third, and that is just what Matty Burgess ordered at half-time.
Tightening the gap, 47-36, Port District still holding on to the lead, but Broadview working well to come back.
So Port owned inside 50s in the first quarter. They won that by 8 in the first quarter, but since then it's been level, and in this third quarter, since quarter time, Broadview leading the inside 50 count by 2. Port with the advantage on the scoreboard. Gray looking to push it home, get that goal right back. Oh, strong tackle, jaws of life closed in. Umpire does the same, runs in and he'll throw it up. Just can't get that secondary clearance after a goal, Broadview. Every goal they've kicked, it's been right back in D50 pretty much straight away. Can they clear it off their half-back with their runners? They've got plenty of good kicks and ball movers. Off they go, Manning. That's got a hit. Smith might make it work. Taps it, Fergus, playing up the ground, Smith. He's continued the run. Who's at home for him? Boris wants the kick, was never going to get there, it was tough. Had 3 Port players in between him and their destination. Smith comes up, strong tackle on Gaffney. On the ground, do well with that, Dienhoff. He gets himself up, leaves the ball behind. And Nash Haynes wraps up Manning, who picks himself up. Or was it Flanagan? It was Flanagan there. Manning not there on that occasion. And Port. Clearance, but only as far as the wing. Broadview to go back inside 50. Strong first hand, but playing in front. Mark taken just to resist the Broadview urge in the middle bit of this last act of play. District to clear. Coming up and over the back, Manning infringes, and it will be a mark or free kick. Take your pick on the outer side. And Port has it. We've played just over 6 minutes. They've got an 11-point edge on the Sportle and Hahn scoreboard.
Yes. Working some distance with that kick, nearing towards the forward 50. Port working well to build the pressure, but Broadview just responding with these handballs and working it back in the opposite direction. Bit of congestion going on in the far wing. Umpire decides to interfere, and we will have a ball thrown up. As it's thrown up, tapped there, Broadview run at the ball but don't manage to get it out of the pack. The ball still remains on the far side of the oval.
Yes, the holding free kick off the pack there. Wrapped him up when he thought he had the footy, didn't. Holding the man, inside 50 coming.
Oh, a good mark there. That's solid mark there.
Bianco contender for Sean Davidson, mark of the day.
Definitely. Came in strong and delivered strong, with Port District working to get the ball back into their hands. On the far side, just goes out on the boundary.
A mark of the week brought to you by Bianco. Goal of the week, Born to Build, our very lovely sponsors, and our snag of the day in the lap of Cooper O'Leary for that second quarter goal, brought to you by Jag Meatworks. All those goals, nominations between the posts, Monday night, Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. Tune in. Wrapped up. Out of side, no one's footy, 11-point game. This one is just teetering on the edge in this third quarter.
It sure is. Players are working well to try and hold on to possession. Port District works to get the ball moving, but Broadview interfere and get it in their favour. A great mark there by O'Leary. Weighs up his options, lets his players run in. He's signalling for his teammates. Goes for a short kick without risk, working it down the line to Ryan. Ryan goes near the boundary line. but Port District get there in time. Players working hard to hold on to the ball. Port District in possession with Gray interfering, working it into the forward 50. But Broadview gets there. Just as I said that, Port District get a hold of the ball and pick it up, taking some time.
Yeah, they wanted a sneaky advantage call, but ball wouldn't sit, and probably, about 30 seconds after the free kick was paid, so pretty correct umpiring. Coming back to Scotty Lycett, who on the Dartfish replay put a little bit of mayonnaise on that free kick, but the hands were there. Infringement. And Port District, they're desperate for a goal. Wouldn't have thought we'd be saying that at half time, but Broadview have got themselves on top in this third quarter, so this one, just to make them feel a bit more comfortable.
As it goes for it, it's a strong kick, but doesn't quite have the distance there. If only it was a metre or two closer, would have been straight through the middle.
Sportal scoreboard. Port extend their gap. It's only 2 goals though. Here's Kobe Russell. 3 goals in round 1 against Port. The reverse fixtures begin this week in the Adelaide Footy League. Anyang. Oh, he spilled his cookies. Hot potato. And he dropped it. But no damage done. So ball up. McKinnon Collins picks themselves up. All 1-on-1 ahead of the footy for Broady. Dragged down, Anyang wins a free kick indeed. A few more seconds there, might have been 25. Ball returned to Cho Anyang on the fall beautifully, and a lovely demanding kick. Jaden Ryan, the vice captain, the Broady junior. 191 games for the club. Ryan keeping it safe. Has a 2-on-1. Up to meet it is, looks like Ralph has pushed himself up forward now in this third quarter. So they've swung the magnet around there, and Hamish Ralph is leading out from a high half forward position. So there's one to watch. Can't see Jack Fergus behind the footy. Anyang. Flanagan coming through and boring his way down. Dienhoff. Bounce the ball, important. Handball. No Pryor. Knocked out in the tackle, well umpired. Slung off it. Mitchell Gaffney. Slips as he kicks. Lycett, he worked his way all the way to the front. Tonka truck tough from Scotty Lycett. But has he got the distance in his leg? Kicked from about this distance about 2 minutes ago. Dinez, and you called it, just wished he had an extra metre on the mark. Does he have the distance here?
Yes, guess we shall find out.
Looking to atone for the miss.
Could be a good opportunity for Port District, who, as you said, are desperate for a goal.
Inside 50 about 20 seconds ago for the Tigers.
Does a run up, and it goes a bit left, unfortunately, for Port District.
Lycett just letting the Tigers off the hook, isn't he, in the past few moments? Could have extended that gap to 5 goals.
Yeah.
Broadview on the Sportal scoreboard. Hang in there. 13-point gap. Port District 7-6-49. 5-6-36 as the scoreboard attendant just swaps over that last behind. So 7-7-49. 5-6-36. 13-point gap. Broadview, Travelator time. Put it in first gear and go. They sweep down the wing. Hands to it. Oh, he felt the boogeyman coming out of his back pocket. Spilled it. Here's Hill. He's wrapped up immediately. End-to-end footy, Broadview. Coach Matty Burgess loving what he sees. Goal here would bring it into single digits for the first time since the first quarter. Not 15, play on. Back of the park, pick it up, snap, Russell. Less said about that, the better. But it's all Broadview. Lycett, 2 misses in this third term. Massive result. Both these sides can finish as high as 3rd, but drop as low as 9th. In a congested Division 1 table. Port can drop to 7th. if all results go against them. That's a sharp kick. Had to work. Gray made it good. Oh, mark that if you can. Up and under. Who's coming for it? Hunter Carter's the man. So Hunter, he gathered it and he moved it quick. Eyes on the footy. Batty came. Needed to make more of a contest out of that, and Broadview can bring it down the wing.
Broadview working well, holding onto the ball here, getting it almost into their forward 50, tapping it and then getting it in, working hard to keep it out of the hands of Port District. Broadview have it in the inside 50. A mark straight out the front of the goals. Could be a very determining goal for Broadview.
Darfish replay. That kick from Ethan Smith. His first season with Broadview. Maroubra Jr. from the Sydney AFL comp, and just summed it up in a millisecond to find Russell. What a goal this would be.
I reckon what a goal it is. Bringing the scoreboard to a single digits difference. Port District will need to make a comeback. The pressure is building by Broadview.
So their top two goal scorers in the season, Boris 18-9, Russell 16-9, and they've got 2 goals between them in this third quarter. Danger signs on the Port District bench. Looking for their first home win, the pre-season premiership favourites. Sitting precariously with 4 wins, 4 losses and a draw. Broadview 4 wins and 5 losses coming into today. This game is right on. It's a 7-point gap on the Sport Enhanced scoreboard. Who stamps their authority on this one? Lysette, he's too tall for it. Anyang, same can be said. Follows up, push. Advantage of the district defender stopped. Smith didn't. Boris, the one-handed effort. Fighting his way through. The handball came to nothing. McKinnon Collins, possessed from the pocket. Smith, no. Out of bounds, last possession, Jack Gaffney. Broadview in the arm wrestle, they're pushing the forearm of District towards the table. 7-7-6-6. Port have got a find. They're coming down and around the turn, and they're giving nothing at the minute. Plenty of talent out there though. Lysette, Gray, Sharrod, Gaffney, Haynes, Davidson, but it's been Ralph, it's been Manning, it's been McKinnon Collins and Cho Anyang really breaking even in the ruck here. Super important clearance game as Cooper O'Leary runs on unmarked on this near side, but won't last for long, I'm sure. Sharrod comes over to pick him up. Continues on the outer side. Strong tackle coming in, Niskahus. Make sure Broadview go nowhere, and pretty much directly in the middle of Largs Reserve. It's a boundary throw in outer side. 7-7 to 6-6, a 7-point lead. We've played 17 and a half minutes on Filming Footy.
Yes, the ball on the far side of the oval, working it into forward 50. Doesn't go directly to a player, but Broadview get a hold of the possession. A strong tackle there by Port District. Ball is favoured to Batty. Play on is called by the umpire. Good punch there of the ball by Broadview.
Bang!
Out of the Port District's possession.
It's a Golden Fist nomination there out of full back. Might have been Manning. Or Flanagan. Get those two pretty confused. Had a few Broadview fans in front of us there just telling me to pick the difference. The black and the white boots. Both doing a defensive job pretty well today.
Definitely. Broadview holding onto the possession. Going for a kick. And a great mark there.
Measured that. Just perfection. The tape measure was out.
Yeah.
Put it on his chest. Couldn't help but mark it.
Goes into the hands of Day, who kicks it into the forward 50. Is paid as a point.
Sportal scoreboard check. It's an even goal now. 7-7 to 6-7. It's a Tigers possession battle. Must mark Modestash. Did. Handed it away. Clearing kick. They spin it around. Oh, the ball's made of soap in the middle of the ground. No one could pick it up. Nobody wanted it. Coming through, Mackenzie did. McKinnon Collins. Advantage taken. Is it his moment? Oh, he took it. Coming back. Mark in the goal square.
One-handed, almost.
You saw it best, Dinez on the mark. What did he do there? Put the one juke up, did he?
Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Kobe Russell getting himself involved, playing out of the goal square. McKinnon Collins, for a split second, played on, took the advantage, thought he'd mucked it up. The grand plan was to get it to Russell, and he put it in the back of the van.
His second goal for this quarter, if I'm correct.
17 goals in his 9 games, with his second goal of this quarter, and the third goal of this quarter makes it 18 goals on the season. 177 goals in his 152nd game for Broadview. The Happy Valley and Payneham Norwood Union Junior, and we have a tight ball game. Thought the reserves was a close one. Port have stalled to a stop. It is a Tigers tidal wave in this third quarter. 7-7-49. And we're almost ticking into time. In fact, we have ticked into time on. 21 minutes gone. Back in the middle.
Yes, it's some strong tackles there with the ball staying in the middle. We have the ball going up. Lysette just grabs a hold of it, but goes down by Broadview, McKinnon Collins. The ball remains still on the ground as players work around it, goes into the hands of Port District, getting it out and into the forward 50. And all a mark there played by Port District. Signalling for players this could be a good comeback for Port District.
Bit far out here, I think. 56 or 7 out. Tommy Carter going to set it right up to the teeth of goal.
Goes into a pack, but a golden fist punch, as you'd say, Jack, by Broadview, who are working well to keep the pressure. Remains in the pack, players struggling to get the ball up. Broadview snap it out of there. Goes almost into another mark, but not quite. We have another pack forming. This time Port District working to snap it out, but goes out on the far boundary.
So who has the ingredient here for Port? Is it James Batty, the goal machine? Is it Lysette in the ruck, tapping it down to Gray? Or is Harrison Hawkins circling? Oh, none of them's going to get a chance here because the free kick out of the ruck on the edge will go to McKinnon Collins. So Broadview repel. Strong fist. Who stands up for districts? As a league, as a viewer of this league, everyone just expects Port to pick up the win eventually and just get their season going. Well, perhaps this might be them. They might be an inconsistent team, but all the talent is right there on the park. Hawkins strongly tackled. Broadview. Same can be said. Pre-season prediction was for them to finish in 4th. Plenty of talent on display for the Tigers today as well. Locked inside the forward half of the ground for Port. Can they get a goal from this?
As the ball is thrown in from the boundary, Lysette tries to get a hold of it. Man of power, but it goes into another pack with the umpires going back 2 metres out from just where it was thrown in earlier. The ball goes up again. Players working hard to get it off the ground. Broadview managed to get it up and kicking out towards the inside 50. Broadview holding on to possession with players coming at them from every direction. with some small, sharp kicks working it strategically, Broadview. Not taking any risks, they're doing what they know best. Port District interfering in grabbing hold of the possession. And a great mark there by Hefner.
A real waste, had Manning on this near side, short option, didn't take it, and Port turn it over and go straight back over their heads.
Goes back into the forward 50 with Lysette almost grabbing a hold of the ball. It's a strong contender just then. Ball remains in possession of Port District with pressure rising. And it's a mark in Gray's hands, about 15 out.
So Sammy Gray, the talented on-baller for Port Power, Sydney, and made his name as a bit of a high half forward. He's gone to the goal square. A change for Josh Ramsey. On the Dartfish replay, Scott Lysette should have won himself a free kick in that initial marking contest. Had the arms chopped. Umpire called play on, but Sammy Gray, here's his moment.
And he delivers. His talent is paying off for Port District, with them now leading by 1 goal. First
goal of this quarter for Port coming at the 25-minute mark, if you can believe that. They've gone more than 36 minutes of game time without a goal. Their last goal to James Batty at the 18-minute mark of that second quarter. On Filming Footy, we have the blockbuster match of the round, no doubt about it. 8-7-55, Port. Broadview 7-7-49. Jack Moore and Dinez Karakaya. Where else would you rather be for some Adelaide Footy League action? It's a beautiful afternoon, no rain, no wind, sun's out. And we'll check the other scores at three-quarter time. Could be a massive result for Broadview if they take the win here. They could find themselves in third position tonight. Still plenty of footy to be played. Wrapped up in a slightly dangerous tackle. Umpire agrees with that. No intent, no malice. The tackle just lingered, and it'll be a free kick going away of Gaffney. Both players to their feet. Good to see. One hand, two. Electric shock. Made it sparse out of the grip of the district player. Modestash taken after. Nothing in it. Play on. Hands in the back. Umpire blindsided. Said no. Play on, win the game yourselves, fellas. Trickling. Oh, that must have just rolled out by a thread of a Sharon down there who was just ushering the ball towards the boundary. What a third quarter of footy. Port by 16 at quarter time, 16 again at half time, and they've closed to within a goal, the Broadview Tigers. 2 from Russell and 1 from Boris. Gray with a saving grace major to open up the lead to that 6-point gap as the senior women come on, and they're playing after this game. If you're in the area, come on down to watch some quality women's footy. But what a third quarter, Dinez, and this could be anyone's game. How do you see it going in the fourth quarter?
I think there will be lots of tension in the last quarter, with the pressure just building and building, just as I think it can't get more serious. It's getting more and more stronger and stronger and sharper with their kicks and their tackles. I genuinely think this could go either way.
Spot on. Broadview, the Tiger tidal wave was crashing. Port District have all the quality in the world to resist it. So quickly around the grounds, Shock by 45 points over Tea Tree Gully, and Glenunga by 40 over Brighton. The top 2 spots in Div 1 look to be pretty locked away for Shock and Broadview. But the other games up for grabs, it's 68-66 Golden Grove and Payneham Norwood Union in the third quarter, and Prince Alfred by 33 points in the third quarter against St. Peter's. So if all results hold, and we take a look at that Division 1 table, we could see that Broadview might find themselves in third or fourth, and Port could tumble all the way down to 7th. But plenty of football to be played. At three-quarter time, it's District by 1 goal. The exciting conclusion, fourth quarter, is coming up next on Filming Footy. Fourth quarter special. Our large reserve are underway. Anyang. He's become a bit of a nuisance to Scotty Lystedt in the ruck, really doing his role beautifully. So a 1-goal gap. At three-quarter time, we worked out if all other results hold, Broadview with a win can go third. Port with a loss could drop to fifth. And roles reversed. If Port can get the win, they will stay third and Broadview will drop to sixth. So plenty on the line in this fourth quarter. It's a 1-goal gap on the Sportle and Hahn ultra low carb scoreboard. Kick's going to go to no one's advantage. First there, O'Leary coming through, ground level, playing in front. Oh, the mismatch in height, won the day for Port. Middle of the ground over the head. Calculate it, do your maths. Showered a professional free kick. So a yellow card produced for that in the round ball code. Took him down, 52 out from goal. Wind, not a factor. But he's going back like he's backing himself, Stevie J. Stephen Jackson, if he kicks this, the original Stevie J will be pretty proud of the effort. First season for Broadview. Waroona Bay in Whyalla. 195 games there and 248 goals! He had the distance by about a metre or two. Bit of a super boot effort from Jackson. Keep your eye on him if he has another chance from that distance out. But we're back to under a goal the margin. First time since the first quarter it's been under a goal. 5 points, Sportle scoreboard. Port Districts come out to the near side. Waiting down and keenly going after it, Broden Hawkins. The ball wouldn't behave. He put it on a string, walked it like a dog. But Daniele came away and turns it straight over and Port District hit the go button.
They sure do. With players coming at the ball from all directions, Port District picking it up and handballing it off to Ferns. Goes for a kick, goes inside the forward 50, but Broadview get there. Ryan interferes and gets a hold of it, keeping it in the forward 50, goes for a mark to another Broadview teammate. And they're working well, remaining in possession, playing it calm and steady currently. Taking a little bit of time, goes for a long kick on the boundary side, goes into a bit of a pack but works in the favour of Broadview, but a strong tackle there by Gray, who just did not let him go. The ball goes up and tapped out into the hands of Broadview, a short snap out, and Broadview try and hold on to possession, but Port District take over. With a slip there, with Broadview getting back in control of the ball. Goes into the hands of Boris, kicks it in towards the forward 50. Broadview try and get there, but Port District get there just in time and get it straight back out, going the opposite direction, with Port District then interfering and Manning taking a mark. Works it to his left, goes to Ryan. Ryan works it small, goes to Wilson, with coaches giving some advice, saying hold. He takes his time, goes straight into the hands of Lystedt. It was a good opportunity there for Broadview, but Lystedt back in control now. Goes for a short, low kick into the hands of Gray. Gray goes for a play on. He fools everyone. And he goes for a long kick into the hands of Broadview. The ball is going from Port to Broadview. Broadview remain in possession. A handball back into the hands of Port District. Going inside the forward 50. Into the hands of Gray. Anyan tries to get there. Not quite, but Broadview get a hold again, and it goes back the opposite direction. Broadview hold onto the ball in the hands of O'Leary, but goes straight into the hands of Haynes.
Both teams have built the wall strong. Off half back. You called it, Dinez, beautifully. It's back and forth. Broadview to Port, Port to Broadview. Who can get the mallet out? Get the hammer out. And beat down the brick in the wall. Manning got both hands, but he couldn't take it down. Wrapped up, or the arm strung over the shoulder. On the lead, Sammy Gray, he's lifting himself. Over 90 goals for Port Adelaide in the 18s, reserves, AFL, you name it. Played some footy for Sydney on the AFL list in his final couple of seasons. And over 100 games at Sandford League level for the Nuggies. 5 goals in his 9 games for District this season. 5-point gap on the Sportal scoreboard all the way to the line. Flurry of fists, jerseys, handball. Crossed the line and safely diffused by the Broadview fullback. Pushes that gap out on the Sportal and Hant scoreboard to a straight kick once again. Danny Ellie. The time is now to take the game on and put your name up in lights. Smith chases down the opponent, wins it. Quick handball, behind him, had to go back. Reached out, grabbed it on the lead. Picked it up below his bootlaces. Spins on a dime, Johnny Boris all the way to the goal square. Just didn't put it to his teammates' advantage. Hamish Ralph had a couple of metres on his opponent. Boris just didn't measure it. Port repel.
Yes. Port District kicking it off the ground, going into their hands while they run as fast as they can with this ball, gripping onto possession. Doesn't go into the hands of anyone. Port try and get there, but it's a good tackle there with the crowd disagreeing, but
the Broadview fans finally getting a free kick they saw going their way. It looked pretty clear on the Dartfish replay, we can see it. Yeah, just went to ground, had the hands pinned and just rugby passed it backwards to throws. Who can break this wall first?
yes, time will tell. It's a great kick into the hands of O'Leary.
Speedy Gonzalez is away.
The ball. He does not let go. Port District holding onto the possession, tackled out. Umpire will throw in.
Cooper O'Leary, one to watch when he gets it. Doesn't have a plan in mind. He hits the ground running and makes it up on the run. Great to watch.
Lycett taps it back out.
Couple of sneaky calls for deliberate, but you won't find that here unless it's 95% of the way to the correct call. It's a beautiful boundary throw in. Lycett, ground level, shovels it up. Sharon's been pretty well held. They put a man back on him to stop him from being loose. Intercepting. Broden Hawkins tackling Mackenzie. Umpire circling, stopping, rewarding the tackle. You love to see strong tackles rewarded, and when there's no attempts, it's going to be a free kick for holding the ball. So getting a bit of footy off half back. Danny Early. Options right, they've got the wing if they can move it quick. Manning bites off something a bit deeper. McKinnon Collins, the hyphen goes up. And he puts the juke up, but he couldn't reel it in. Just a bit snookered on the outer side. Margin is a goal. Whose moment comes next? Big next goal in the context of this one. Anyang holding. Hasn't Anyang done well since quarter time? He's really neutralised Lycett there in the ruck.
He definitely has. And
Lycett wins that. We'll come back to that observation. You had an observation for us.
Yeah, I was just saying that third quarter he's really picked it up. He's travelling more as well, just as Lycett, and keeping up. working his height to his advantage.
There's Karakaya with special comments, and Johnny Boyce with a signature goal off the back of a pack. Getting himself started in this fourth quarter. Going to work at the back of that pack as it fell off the hands and he just ate up the grass. And it's back to all square. We are as we started 3.5 quarters ago on the Sportal scoreboard. 8-8-56. It's a low scoring epic. The arm wrestle is well on today. And Yang Lysette, they resume their duel. Coming through Smith. Laying body on it. Mackenzie couldn't take it with him. Can they get a goal back? Might be 2 in a minute. Oh, he wouldn't let him go. Excellent from O'Leary. He's more than just a road runner. Port District crowd love that call. Dartfish replay shows it was a spot-on decision. Pressure was high in the kitchen. Johnny Boras and James Batty, I tell you what, they've been pretty quiet. The only time they've popped up is when the other has kicked a goal.
Yeah, that is a great observation.
They don't like being shown up by the other one, the two goal machines at either end of the park. They take pot shots from here after training ends. So Batty should be able to use the angle, but he can't. 1 point lead, Districts. 11.5 gone. It's a fullback for the Tigers. Lysette, Ralph, Lysette. Off hands, Hill. Hill gets it back. The dodge, the weave. Haynes free kick. Pretty clear on the Dartfish replay. Front on contact from Smith. Going back to contest the footy. Short kick, Cooper Gaffney. Lysette, body work. The IQ of a genius. Oh, the umpire didn't agree. Thought the bodywork came a little bit too early. Dartfish replay. Not too sure about that one, but Broadview will take it. They're on half back, but Port have the lead.
Yes, Port are just holding on, but they are technically still leading. Broadview could have a good opportunity here. The ball works in their favour. A beautiful mark there by Ralph. Kicks it not necessarily into the hands of anyone, but players run at it left, right and centre. Remains in the hands of Port District. Umpire calls it to go to O'Leary, who kicks it into the forward 50. Port try and get there, and it's a strong tackle there by Broadview.
Port a touch unlucky on that, holding the ball on the edge of 50. The handball did come from Haynes. Umpire said it came a bit too late. Running through! Is it Smith down there? Ethan Smith! He's wheeling away on the Dartfish replay. The bulldozer! All that experience coming through. He just put it into second gear. Give me a second to reel off his former clubs, the Maroubra Junior. Had some footy at the Swans Academy and Sandringham Dragons and the North Melbourne Reserves last season. 2 goals last week. And the Tigers hit the front in the fourth quarter. A Smith special with 14 minutes on the clock. Ralph in the ruck. Just giving McKinnon Collins, should say Anyang, a bit of a chop out. Gives away the free kick to Carter. Out of side, so take a breath as it goes out of bounds. Broadview by 5 points. Port District's first time they've been behind since the 2nd minute mark of this game. An incredible performance from Broadview. With a win and results holding, they'll find themselves in 3rd position tonight. Still plenty of time on the clock. Port have the quality. Hawkins. Gray, the back of the park, sold him like a salesman. He didn't buy what he was selling. Underground kick. Went more under than... Oh, Louis shook himself out of his own boots. He wanted to do the opposite. Haynes under pressure. Everything is pressurised. It's hot in the kitchen. Inside 50. Body Sharrods. Well within his distance, Louis Sharrod. Flinders Park Junior. He's played at Port, Woody West Torrens and the Adelaide Crows in the Sandful competition to get the lead. Right back. Peels out. The distance might be an issue, you know. The district fans. I told you the story. Umpire just setting up the mark. Lycett with the bodywork. Broden Hawkins with the mark and the finish. 8 goals in 5 games for Broden Hawkins, and Tigers, they weren't in front for long. Goal for goal in the 4th quarter. Sportal scoreboard 9-9-63, 9-8-62, a 1-point district lead. We've played 16.5 minutes. This is going to be some finish.
It sure will be. There's a lot holding on to this game for both teams, really. Port District have made a good comeback though, but let's see how Broadview will respond. As the ball goes into the centre and it goes up. Umpire has made a call.
Free kick awarded for a centre square infringement. So Broadview just running into that square before the ball was thrown up. It'll be a Port District free kick, and this is Louis Sharrod.
Goes for a short kick, working down the line to Rose. Rose weighs up his options. Goes for a kick into the forward 50. A pack forms, players coming at the ball from all directions. Trying to punch it out. Broadview get a hold. Holding on, go for a snap kick, and it goes behind by Broadview.
Would have been a Jagmeet Works goal of the day.
Would have been.
Cooper O'Leary with that special effort in the 2nd quarter. Still has his hands on the sausages thanks to Jagmeet Works.
Broadview
slips catch. Couldn't take it. Back inside 50 now.
Goes almost towards the goals. And it
goal has been awarded. It bounced at right angles on that goal line, but it must have crossed the back of the line. Dartfish replay. When the ball bounces your way, it goes your way. That's a real dagger for the hopes of the Tigers in this one. It looked like it might bounce back into play, but it just went through.
Yes, it will be hard to come back from here, but there is still some time.
18.5 gone, so there still should be probably about 6 or 7 minutes of actual game time in this quarter. We've had the 3 goals.
Let's see how many more goals we'll get as the ball is thrown back up. Anyan taps it out, but Port District take Broadview to the ground.
8-point lead to Port on the Sportal and Hahn Ultra Low Carb scoreboard. Is it a winning gap? Has the quality risen to the top? Have the Tigers got one last effort? Anyang. It's a fist up. Head over the footy. Free kick going the way. It might be Sharrod. Louis Sharrod's really putting himself to the top of the best on ground list. And here's the gazelle off half back in Haynes. Pins the years back. Lycett. Ball wouldn't sit for him. It's going to go for Hawkins. He put himself back into the jaws. Tried to dance around them. Umpire's going to say, come back here, lads, take a breath. Still a couple of minutes away from time on, so there's plenty of life left in this contest. Short option, Port have done well to close up the grounds. Forcing Jaden Ryan across. Inside is Daniele, but he decides to go a bit longer down the wing to find Ferguson. Over the back, Flanagan calls for it. Russell is running some space. Might just fall short of both of them. Coming up to meet it, McKinnon Collins really needed to keep it in front. Went over his head, and a beautiful mark. A Bianco nomination, mark of the day. Oh, that's going to hit! Might be game over here if Port can play their cards. Falls towards the knees of Scotty Lysett. Picked up, one-handed, taken straight away, umpire! That is a massive decision. Sponsors Day here at the Port. Fans love it. Not sure it was there on the Dartfish replay. Goodness gracious. Had about 2 milliseconds before he was tackled. Didn't look like he took the tackle on, but the umpire had a better angle. Passanidi. Tough kick, still plenty of work to do. 8-point gap on the Sportal scoreboard. 21 gone. Passanidi from the impossible pocket. All the way across, mark dropped. Smartly rushed for a behind. 9-point game, Sportal scoreboard. Back in the hands of Broadview.
Yep, here we go. Running with the ball. There is definitely a sense of urgency here. A great mark taken by Ralph. Goes for a long kick into their centre 50. Broadview try and get there, but Port District grab a hold as Sharad runs off with it. And it's another mark by Port District inside the Broadview forward 50. Port District working it down the line to Rose. Weighing up their options and taking some time.
22 minutes gone. Still about 3 or 4 to go.
Goes for a long kick down towards the boundary line. A pack did form, and it continues with players everywhere.
So last home game here at Largs Reserve, Port District are up by 12 points with 2 minutes left, and Bryden kicked 2 goals in 35 seconds to draw that game. So Port District nervous finishers. Haven't won this one yet by any means.
The ball is thrown back in. Lysett comes charging at it from nowhere, but Broadview grab a hold and stay a hold. Umpire does not pay it. Does pay it in the favour of Port District.
And they're going to bash the fence on that side, aren't they? The old Port roofing side of the ground. The reserves and the C grade boys over there at Sponsors, they have an absolute party.
A great mark there by Broadview, intercepting the ball, kicking it down the line. Another mark. They're playing it very smart here, working to their advantage, doing what they know best.
So Port have pushed Louis Sharad back as that loose man, plays that role every week. So Broadview need to keep it away from that middle of the ground. Otherwise, it's all one-on-one.
Port District have done well to move the ball into the forward 50, worked it straight down the line, but Port District are getting there and making Broadview work for this. Kicking it off the ground, but Broadview intercept, getting it back in, seems a bit outnumbered in the goal square, which works in the advantage of Port District.
Put that down for a Bianco mark of the day, a goal saver, and putting his name up for those Archie's best on ground thongs, Louis Sharad. It's one thing to play loose man, it's another thing to be in the right spot And a relieving mark here for Ferns, living up to his name and standing tall. The big fern tree down back. 24 minutes played. Port District have the elusive home win. It's taken 11 rounds of footy. 11 weeks of footy, make that 10 rounds. But they finally secured a home win and they lock up third position. Broadview, a real opportunity, slips through their fingers. They could have gone third tonight. All one way in that first quarter, poured out to a 16-point lead, both at quarter time and half time. Broadview closed. They took the lead, didn't they?
They did.
In that fourth quarter. But Port, to their credit, steadied and they run out 8-point winners.
Yes, congrats to Port. Broadview did their very best, did what they did best, but Port District just came out on the top. It was a great game though.
Yeah, well wrapped up. Denez, it was one for the ages. Broadview were really good value for money. That goal that put them in front from the bulldozer, Smith came running through the pack, and you thought at that point it might have been Broadview's day, the way that the Tiger tidal wave was crashing over the top. They're going to be right in the mix for finals though, you feel?
Definitely.
And Port, 4 wins, 4 losses and a draw coming into today. As we've mentioned, yet to win at home all season on Sponsors Day of all days as the women come on for their senior match. They needed that home win and they took it. Some players who were pretty good in moments. Sam Gray, James Batty kicked a goal. Hunter Carter kicked 2 first quarter goals. Lysette with 2 of his own. Gaffney in the first quarter. Sam Gray with a goal and Broden Hawkins with a 17th minute fourth quarter goal and a very important final goal of that fourth quarter to give them back the lead. Well, for Broadview it was Russell with a couple, Boris with 2, Manning with 1. McKinnon Collins got us started, and O'Leary, well, Broadview won't win, but they'll take themselves home a kilo of gourmet sausages thanks to that, what do you call it, a bit of a magical effort from O'Leary. Sidestepped a couple, set sail for goal thanks to Jag Meatworks. I reckon that wins our goal of the day.
Yes, definitely. Beautifully said.
While on the Broadview side of things, some best players there. You had McKinnon Collins. Shao Wanyang did a fantastic job opposed to the AFL experienced Scotty Lysette in the ruck. Boris in fits and spurts came in and out of the game. Jackson Wilson, Kobe Russell in that third and fourth quarter. Ralph, and a bit of a magnet change there in that fourth quarter, put himself up in the forward 50. But what a game we were treated to. A low scoring game, 10 goals to 9, but sometimes those arm wrestles can be the best. And what did you most enjoy about the contest?
I think what I thought was pretty impressive was to see how well teams worked with the ball, played it strategic, didn't take too many risks after the first quarter, and they did what worked best. Worked it down the line, short kicks, short handballs, and just made it work in their favour. What about you, Jack?
Yeah, much the same. Well summed up. Can't really say much more than that. It was a game that both sides deserved to win and neither sides really deserved to lose. But Port, that little bit of quality, Sam Gray popped up when you needed him in that fourth quarter, and so did Lysette. And, of course, the one who I think will find themselves in contention. We'll have a bit of a discussion, Denez and I, after we go off air, but Louis Sharrod, perhaps best on ground. You can find those best on grounds and the 3-2-1 votes in the Farmers Leap Winery Player of the Year, thanks to Archie's on the Behind the Posts, Between the Posts show on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page, Monday or Tuesday nights, with the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Javor. But that's pretty much all we've got time for from Largs Reserve. A look ahead to next week. Broadview are entertaining Glenunga. That should be a pretty big ethic. And Glenunga undefeated so far this season. Port District at home again to Tea Tree Gully. They'll look to record back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Some final stats for us today on our coverage, Dinez Karakaya.
It was 10-11. Well worked in the favour of Port District.
This Filming Footy broadcast has been brought to you by our sponsors. Of course, every week we thank them: Sportal and Hahn, Filming Footy, Dartfish, Farmers Leap, Archie's, Make Sure Ratify, Born to Build, Bianco and Jag Meatworks. On behalf of all the team at Largs Reserve, we were treated to an absolute epic. Port District finally getting their first win at home in season 2024 by 8 points over the Broadview Tigers. Have a brilliant and safe week, and we'll see you back here, same place, same time, next Saturday for more in the Adelaide Footy League on Filming Footy.